Have you ever been somewhere in a crowded area, obviously before the pandemic, such as a bar or standing in line for movies or somewhere like that, and someone lights up a cigarette or, decided to vape right in the middle of that crowded area? I mean, just the smell just takes over. The cloud of smoke just invades your personal space, invades your area, and you're just instantly disgusted. I mean, just disgusted to the point to where you're like, this isn't what I came out here for. Why do you have to do this here? And it just literally irks you. So my topic is secondhand smoke and people who smoke in public areas and they just subject everybody to their smoke. I mean, it's one of the most irritating, disrespectful, just completely just don't care about anybody else around you area, like things that people can do. And I mean, it's basically just a big middle finger to everybody else around them. And what people don't realize, well, what these smokers don't realize is secondhand smoke is the most dangerous and unsolicited activities that adults and children are subjected to. Not only does it force us to inhale the smoke that you put out there into our lungs, it also forces us to inhale all of the particles that come from your mouth. I mean, it's no different than when you sneeze and don't cover your nose, or cough and doesn't cover your mouth. When you blow out into the air, it just lets off every single germ and particle that's in your mouth, and those things get into the air and everybody else around you just breathes them in. And it's just one of those things that you just like, really? Come on. And what grinds my gears about it more than anything is the fact that it shows a bigger trend in society that we do not care about one another. Like, we have no sense of public space and how everyone in there has to carry themselves in a way that is beneficial to everybody else. Yes, it is your right to smoke. Yes, it is your right to light up that cigarette or to vape, but it's not your right to subject everybody in this world to your behaviors when we all make a conscious effort not to smoke. And the trend is manifesting itself in the world because let's take smoking out of it for a second, even though that's the main topic. What it shows is a bigger attitude of people, the attitude of this individualism that we live in a society that we live in our own worlds. We are only governed by our own choices and our own decisions, and everybody else is just subject to it. But this type of thinking and this type of mentality leads to diseases being spread and social anarchy. Take for instance in the pandemic how we all are supposed to be wearing masks when we go out here, and it's not the fact that we might get sick, but the fact that we can get somebody sick, whether I'm asymptomatic or somebody else is not. My immune system might be stronger than the next person's, but the goal is to wear a mask to stop the transmission. And those people who say, well, I don't believe in it, or, this is my right to not wear a mask, the same as it's my right to smoke. But you are subjecting other people to your personal opinions or your personal wants and needs or desires, and that's not fair because whether you might not get sick, the next person might get sick. And according to the American Lung Association, 7,300 people die a year from lung cancer due to secondhand smoke, and 33,000 people die per year due to heart disease caused by secondhand smoke. And These are people dying because other people are dying to have that cigarette. And it's frustrating. It's completely frustrating because it just shows us a complete lack of humanity and a complete lack of respect for one another. And ultimately, I think that smoking in public, period, should be banned. I mean, I don't care for designated areas either because that smoke lingers and it travels. And when you give that type of flexibility, it just seems as in this society, people take that flexibility and they run with it. Well, I'm out in the open area, but you're still in the midst around other people who make a conscious decision every day not to smoke. I personally would like to see smoking banned in all public forums and let it be a privilege that you exercise in your own home or on your own private land or in isolated, way off, unpopulated areas. Because for the millions of people who say they have the right to smoke, there are even more millions of people who do not smoke and they have the right to not be subjected to that type of toxicity that they put off into the air and subject us all to have to live with. Thank you.